Greetings, my fellow Americans, and welcome back to another video. So as you can tell, a lot has happened. However, I don't want to talk about that. In fact, I don't want to talk about me, but a lot has changed. And as a result of that, I wanted to also update some other things, some other videos that I previously were talking about. A few, I think it's almost been a year now. So a lot has changed for me, but even more updates for you guys on conceal carry or open carry or just carrying in general, tips and tricks. This one is specifically more generated towards conceal carry. I didn't really talk about it a whole lot. I mean, in fact, I talked too much about it, honestly, but at the end of the day, it truly doesn't matter as long as you are carrying. That to me matters a heck of a lot more than how you carry. However, I do subscribe to the idea of conceal carrying over open carrying. I just do believe that there is a lot other different ways to open carry that isn't so obvious, right? So without further ado, guys, let's jump into what I call the PJ's everyday carry loadout. So for short, PJ's carry. PJs meaning pajamas, from literally waking up, throwing shorts on, throwing a hoodie on, and heading to the grocery store. Guys, anything could happen at any time. That is, not meant to be this scare tactic. That's not meant to be this, living in constant paranoia state. But it's to be a reminder that, you could at any time come across somebody that, isn't good news, isn't always the friendliest of neighbors, right? So with that mind state, you have to be prepared for anything, and I know it's kind of a cliche, but expect the unexpected is truly the goal ultimately at the end of the day. So without further ado, let's jump into the loadout. This is the PJ's everyday carry. So literally, like I said, I want to be able to go from, 2 seconds ago, I was asleep and now I'm waking up and I'm getting dressed, but I don't want to get too fancy. I don't want to get too dressed up and I want to head to the store. So, my typical, just PJs would be shorts and a hoodie. I am wearing a shirt as well, but how could I, actually carry or conceal carry a 6-hour P320, a 1911, a Beretta, a Glock, regardless of the weapon? How could I possibly do that with only wearing baggy basketball shorts that could fall down at any moment had they be carrying some kind of heavy armament such as a 1911? So easy answer, honestly. And I kid you not, guys, you know how big of a fanatic I am with lights. I still incorporate the lights in with the PJ's loadout. So even with the shirt, it's still not as obvious as it is with something as baggier as a hoodie, but I still find it even more important to add layers. Now, of course, everybody's going to say, well, the more layers you add, it hinders you on how fast you are at being able to retract your weapon and retrieve your weapon and be able to utilize it in a hostile situation or in a stressful situation. Yeah, that's somewhat true, but it really just depends on how fast you get with it, on how many repetitions you have with it, on how much you train doing it. So right off the gate, I am wearing just a shirt, but however, inside my waistline, we do in fact have a 6-hour P320 and an extra mag on the side. Now, I do have the ability to have 2 extra mags. I only have 1 extra mag because I didn't feel like loading 2 this morning. I already have 1 in the firearm itself. It is fully loaded, but as I go ahead and retrieve it out of the elastic band, I'm going to go ahead and clear it real quick. You can see, in fact, that we do have a flashlight. Guys, that flashlight, I've talked about it in many other episodes, is extremely important to me. Being able to identify your target in a, not the best lighting conditions, like I said, is extremely important to me. Being able to see, who the assailant, who the assailant is, goes from, a harmless, innocent civilian to somebody who is actively trying to hurt you. And those are big differences and will be brought up in a court of law should should you accidentally or purposely take, a drastic measure or a drastic judgment of that decision. So as a result of that, guys, this elastic waistband is amazing. Let me go ahead and take it off here for you guys so I can show you what it looks like, and we'll go from there. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into this elastic waistband. So I think this is probably one of the most creative conceal carries I've ever seen out there. It is literally just a giant elastic band that has simply a few pockets sewn into it that I think makes a world of a difference. It's got a very uncomfortable amount of Velcro. What I mean by that is usually I keep the Velcro on my backside, and sometimes this little part right here likes to itch the crap out of my back. So not necessarily the most comfortable part. However, if you do have a hoodie, you could just tuck in your shirt, have this overlapping over your shirt, making it that much more comfortable. I would absolutely recommend doing that as a result of just keeping this on your bare skin. However, either way, it still goes from having 3 magazines on just one little waistband that makes you such an important asset in a oh crap situation. Just simply wearing PJs, right? We're not wearing some tactical loadout that a Navy SEAL would wear. We are simply wearing something that we would typically wear just waking up, just getting out of bed, and simply putting this nice little elastic waistband on. So, few things to mention as kind of a disclaimer. So when you are wearing something like this, I'm not trying to knock it, but at the same time, I want to give you guys the honest truth about this. When you are using this elastic waistband, you cannot go from taking or putting your weapon in your waistband line, putting it somewhere, storing it in your firearms, and then easily putting it back into this holster. This is elastic. This is kind of a one-time use, if you will. So when you take it out, putting it back in is going to be rather difficult. So if you are in a public location, if you are, wherever you are going, I would highly recommend just taking the whole thing off if you have to take your firearm off, and putting the whole thing back on as a result, instead of, drawing your firearm from the band itself. I really wouldn't recommend, putting it back in. Plus, your shorts or your jean line or whatever type of clothes you are wearing at the time as a result of your bottoms, this is not going to go back in. The pressure of your shorts, the pressure of your jeans, if you're wearing a belt, is going to, not just, the elastic band is going to retract and not morph or keep the mold of your firearm, but everything else, your shorts, your jeans, your belt, all of it is going to retract. So pulling it out, if you are, again, looking to store it or take it off your person, I would highly recommend not doing unless if you are in a safe location. So just basically don't draw this weapon with this, concealed carry band unless if you intend on using it. This is like a one-time pull thing. So don't try to, pull it out and then try to, nonchalantly put it back in, because it's not going to work. It's going to depress. It's going to, go straight back to being elastic. It's just doing what it's designed to do, right? And it keeps just a very good amount of tension on there. So another way to utilize this goes up to the next point that I have, is actually, in fact, it's a little different, I would have to say, than what typically other people would wear. But let me go ahead and put it on in a different direction, and try to show you guys, or try to prove to you guys some different ways you could utilize this easy carry band. So one of the most controversial, I should say, ways of carrying with your elastic waistband is going to be the under the shoulder carry. I actually have seen a couple of people utilize this, and the biggest argument is, well, a lot of times people, when they go for their weapon, they're going for their waistband, and that's a little too obvious. Some people go for their ankles, and that's even more of a reach. Some people have argued that this is, in fact, one of their ways of carrying which in my opinion, man, this would take a lot of getting used to. In my in my opinion, I would never carry this way. This is an option for those who feel as though they could make this work. But for me, I'm going to hard pass on this one. I think it's creative. I think it's a neat idea, but I don't like it. It doesn't feel comfortable to me. Everything feels, just everything feels weird. I just don't like it. But I have seen this, and some people swear to it. So just kind of putting that out there, and maybe you're somebody who could make this work. I cannot. I'm not ashamed to admit I cannot. So that's pretty much it for the belt. So let's move on to another concealed carry idea. All right, so the next concealed carry is going to be actually probably one of my favorite products out there. Now, here's a big disclaimer or a big con to this particular set or this particular way of concealed carrying. Like the previous things I had just shown you guys, like the the Omnivore, Blackhawk Omnivore, that you can somewhat conceal carry, but it still is going to be a brick of a holster that you're obviously you'll have on your side. You're able to carry more than just a specific weapon on that specific holster. Much like the band, the elastic band I just showed you guys, you can carry multiple different firearms. You can go from anywhere from a Glock, a 6 Sauer, a 1911, a Beretta. You can go from whatever style of weapon you personally like. Now this one is different. This is very specific to your specific firearm. This one is going to be the crossbreed holster. I am such a big fan of crossbreed holsters. I'm not sponsored in any way. If I could be sponsored, I would love to be sponsored by these guys. I absolutely love crossbreed, and I think they do a fantastic job at concealed carrying firearms. I've had these for about 3 or 4 years now. This one is going to be my 1911 model. I have a 6 Sauer model, and then I also do plan on getting a Glock model. But that's one thing that I really do hate about buying specific holsters for specific firearms, is because, man, these crossbreed holsters, I'll be honest with you, are expensive. These are about $75 each. I have spent, I've already bought 2 of them. Like I said, one was for the 6 Sauer P320 without a flashlight. So, that's kind of a big con right there as well. There's 2 big cons, but I do love these for so many different reasons, and we're about to get into it. But this is my 1911 one. So I typically like to carry 5 o'clock position. Right around here is perfect for me. The crossbreed has a very nice 2-clip on either side inside your waistband that comfortably, I mean comfortably, because on the other side of this, it feels like just a t-shirt type of style material. So when I put it back here, it literally doesn't feel that much different than my t-shirt. And I think that is amazing on the comfortability aspect of that. Also, we've got kind of this little, this tail, I guess you could call it, or just this extra piece of fabric that comes up over it. And you can see all the, tears in there. I've used this a lot. This is more of a leather, material on the on this side. It's got a nice fabric material on the inner, and then this is a plastic molding. So it's basically a hybrid, which is what crossbreed. It's a hybrid of going from leather to polymer. And you also got a bit of metal here. These are going to be metal, super durable, super nice, and they kind of move around too, which is actually, honestly, I didn't like that at first, but it's stiff enough to where you don't really notice it. But it's also nice enough to where, if you have to move it around to adjust your weight or to adjust your belt, it's nice. It's super convenient. I like it. And they've also got nice little indents of crosses on here, which I really love that. And they also have more of a Celtic cross look right here, which I'm even a bigger fan of. So as a result of this, guys, I think that if you're talking about concealed carry, crossbreed holsters are amazing. They are definitely the way to go. Like I said, $75 for, specific holster for your specific weapon that isn't allowed to carry a flashlight, that does kind of leave you at a little bit of a disadvantage. I would specifically only use this for daytime purposes. If I felt as though I was going to get up early in the morning and I wasn't really going to come back home until like 12 or 1 in the morning, I wouldn't really use this. I probably wouldn't, just because I like to have a light on me at all times. But if I didn't really, if I knew I was probably going to go to the grocery store real quick, I didn't, I was feeling, a little bit more, I felt like wearing actual clothes instead of just throwing my PJs on, throwing some shorts on. I wouldn't wear these with shorts. I wouldn't. The 1911 is one of the heavier weapons out there. The Sig Sauer, just this is not really technically designed for basketball shorts. So I wouldn't really wear basketball shorts or PJs with this, but I definitely would wear shorts, just normal cargo shorts with a belt, with jeans. I would wear any other type of clothing except for basketball shorts, PJ style clothing with this. It's an amazing product. This keeps it very nice and snug against your body at all times. So I don't really worry about the bulge or the handle showing, because it's like, man, this sticks to your body. It completely cups it in a way that just keeps it very close to you. So I really appreciate that. I really like that. And guys, so I mean, and we talked about how you couldn't really carry more than just one type of weapon. If you have other specific weapons, other 1911s, sure, yeah, you could probably work with that. If you're talking about different brands, this is a Colt 45. If I wanted to stick a as long as it didn't have a rail attachment to it, if I wanted to stick a Garrison, if I wanted to stick a Rock Island, if I wanted to stick other brands, sure, yeah, that would work too. And maybe different calibers like 9mm, 45, 10mm, sure, that would possibly work too. But as far as going from a 1911 to one with a rail, it wouldn't, it would not work. So be mindful of that you have to be very specific with the type of firearm you are using with these crossbreed holsters. And that's kind of the disadvantage at it, is that they are more specific towards that weapon. But if you are, let's say, you're not really a gun guy, you don't really have that many weapons, you probably got 2 handguns, a couple of rifles, and your everyday handgun is the same handgun you've been carrying since out of high school, then you would have no problem with that crossbreed holster. That'd probably be your dedicated holster for that dedicated weapon, and therefore you would have no issues with it. Me, I typically like to change things up a little bit. Sometimes I like to go with the 1911, sometimes I like to go with 9mm. It's just I have to be in a mood, right? So that's just me personally. And hopefully you guys can make or persuade your own opinion on how you would like to go about doing that. So there you are, guys. That's pretty much the everyday carry, conceal carry way of going about it. Elastic band crossbreed holsters have got to be my favorite. I do not like leather, guys. I'm not a big fan of leather, and Range Max has got to be the absolute worst. These are horrible products out there that I do not like. I do not like them at all. Just stick to the couple of things that I've showed you here, and make it work for you. Don't just take what I say, but also give it your own little pizzazz, if you want to call it that. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. All I have to talk about with regarding concealed carry. Stay tuned for my QRF loadout update. I will be talking about an updated battle belt and an updated vest. Stay tuned for that. And then sometime in the near future as well, I also want to talk about your QRF apparatus. This is getting your truck, your car, your SUV. This is getting your vehicle also QRF ready. So don't miss out on that stuff. So guys, take care. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you in the next one.